how to waterproof a shower from someone who's never waterproofed a shower before. Today we're using the GoBoard by Johns Manville. This is a lightweight foam board. It has waterproof on either side of it, so you don't need to use any liquid membrane like you would with a cement board. And you can avoid all the dust that cement boards create, and this stuff's just way easier to work with. So one thing I would recommend is adding more sealant than I did here. You want it squeezing out between the boards once you smush them together. So I had to go back and add a lot more. You got to have an inch of coverage on either side of the seam to make sure it's fully waterproof there. And then you have to add these screws and washer combos every 8 inches-ish. So that's what I kind of did here. Secured as much as possible. Now, one thing that I'm not sure how it's going to turn out is how flat and plumb the walls are. I tried my best with the furring strips, but there's definitely still some errors. So I think I can offset it with some of the thin set. When I go to set the tile, I can build some parts up, be a little bit thinner in some areas to make sure it's fully flat. But try to get as flat as possible when you hang your boards to prevent lippage when you go to hanging your tiles later, especially if you have bigger tiles. But we're just going to stick with subway tiles for this one. I've never tiled anything in my life before, so hopefully you learned something from this video. All right, throwing the last piece up. We're working around this custom niche here that we'll fill in a minute. Adding these final screws here to make sure everything's secure. And I'm definitely going to have to go back in those corners and fill it with sealant. Yeah, there's just way too much of a gap there. I got to fill it, make sure it's fully waterproof. I might even have to use some tape. I think you're supposed to tape it and then seal it again. So we'll see. Anyway, here's the custom niche. Adding the side pieces and then the top piece and then saving the bottom piece for last. I'm going to have to add some spacers in the back of this bottom piece here. It took me a few tries. You want to get that slope so all the water runs off into the shower and doesn't pool up in your niche. So that's what I'm doing here. I had to take it out, put some sealant under there to provide enough slope. Now I'm just sealing all of the seams in there. Make sure none of that interior of the foam is exposed so no water can get in. Stay tuned for more videos. Like if you want to see part 2. And I will probably put up a video on how the tiling goes as well. So thanks for watching.